What up, Krack gang? It's your guy Krack, and I'm back with another video, family. And today we're gonna be talking about, for all intensive purposes, we're gonna change the names of individuals right now. Today, in this segment, just to protect people from any type of incarceration, or this is a story that hasn't been prosecuted, so we don't want nobody to get in trouble or anything like that. So for all intensive purposes, we're gonna call one of the individuals R Dog. You know what I'm saying? R Dog. So Butch and R Dog. R Dog is the homie from Insane Crip, and Butch is the homie from 190 East Coast Crip. The story begins late at night. It's about nightfall. Me and a group of people are walking. I'll name off the group. It's me, my friend Chris, his sister Cabrica, his sister Danielle, and his sister April. Then they had a cousin named Maurice. He was there. And their little brother, about 10 years old, Eric, and me. We're all walking down the street, mobbing. I don't even remember where we were going, but we were going somewhere that night. And just going down the street, leaving the projects. We're about 3-4 blocks out of the projects, headed, across town. So we're about to cross one of the main highways and probably about 2 blocks, and we see somebody walking towards us. This person walking towards us is alone. I don't pay too much attention to, well, I'm paying attention to it. They're not paying no attention to it. They're not street people at all. These kids is like church kids. These are kids that I met. I was a bad kid. I was in the streets. I was in gangs. I was a bad kid. I used to get in trouble in school a lot. I was very intelligent, but I was bad, and I would get suspended and expelled and all of that, and a lot of fights and stuff like that. So I wound up getting kicked out of all the schools in the county at a point, and my mom couldn't put me in any other middle schools because I got kicked out of all of the schools in the county. So she had to send me to a Catholic school. Went to the Catholic school. I was so bad that they had to bring in a counselor. Counselor was a bad thick chick. Tried to bang the counselor. Counselor actually used to flirt at me a lot, but it's like my behavior was so bad at the Catholic school that they let me finish out my 7th grade year, but they were like, there's no way that this kid can come back to our school next year. So they told my mom she had to find somewhere else. So she found this black Christian school. And mind you, she had to pay for all this. So to all the kids, be good in school because you don't want to put your parents through hardships. My mom had to pay money because I was so bad just to keep me in school, just to try to get me educated and keep me going forward and not be a dropout. So this is not praising being like that, behaving like that in any way, especially to the youth. Bad juju, you feel me? Bad medicine. But anyways, I met all these kids that I was with at the Christian school that I had went to. So this was like a couple years after that. We were in high school now, but we still were cool, hanging out, whatever, blase. So we're walking, the guy's walking towards us. About a block towards us, or from us, he pulls out something shiny out of his pocket. I'm watching him because I'm in the street, so I'm like, okay, nothing's going on, but who is this character? I'm peeping his silhouette, his movement, his energy. So I see him pull the little shiny something silver looking out of his pocket and hold it down to his right side. Then when he gets a little bit closer, about half a block from us, he cocks that object. I realize, okay, that's definitely the strap, like I thought. So by then, we're too close to each other. He's only a half a block. We're still walking towards him. He's still walking towards us. By the time he cocks it, and I'm like, okay, that's the strap. Now we're a quarter block from each other, which is nothing but about 15, 25 feet. That's fire and speaking range, where we can talk to each other, hear each other. He could start shooting, hit us easily. all that. So ain't really no running at this point. So we keep walking. None of them are paying attention. They don't peep none of this. I didn't vocalize it outwardly so that they could look and start paying attention or nothing, but they're not paying attention. So dude has the strap to the side and he's like, "What's happening, cuz? Where y'all from?" And so I immediately recognized the voice, and I'm looking at the dude. First of all, he's foaming out the mouth. I can tell by his eyes and him foaming out the mouth that he's shermed up. Sherm, for people that don't know about sherm, is a drug called PCP. It's embalming fluid where they'll dip a blunt or a cigarette in it, and they'll get very, very high from smoking that. And most people, especially in gang culture in California, they do that before they go out to commit crimes such as murder, shootings, etc. They'll get shermed up and then they'll go fight or shoot, whatever. And it makes you crazy. It causes an insanity effect, and a lot of times it'll also cause delusions, but you see things. And so he was coming towards us and he says that, and I'm like, I say his name, and like I said, for the intensive purposes of this video, we're gonna call him R-Dog. I was like, R-Dog? R? And he was like, Trey, cuz. And he puts the strap up, daps me up. I was like, oh shit, it's the homie. So we start chopping it up a little bit. What's up with you? Where you going tonight? A dog? Like, okay, I'm going, holla at this chick, you know how I get out. He had a whole bunch of girls, and that's what he was known for, besides being in the street, because he was like a pretty boy. Like R was a pretty boy, and he had a lot of game, he had a lot of swag and stuff. Like, he actually was older than me, so he had took me under his wing at a point, couple years before this, and he gave me a lot of my drip, a lot of my swag, a lot of my game. Taught me more about, like, he was really into fashion, taught me about like clothes more and shoes, and that's how I'm into like, shoes and designer and all that, like I am to this very day, because of him and my big cousin Thump. So anyways, we finished talking, he walks off. We keep walking. He walks the direction we were walking. We keep forward for the direction he was coming from. Probably about 2 blocks into that, we hear pop, pop. We from the projects. We not far from the projects. We hear shooting every day in the projects. So it's nothing new to us. We was like, somebody's bussing. Keep on walking. They ain't bussing at us. That's all we worried about. So maybe about 1 more block down the street, we see somebody coming, and they're on one of them beach cruiser type bikes going back and forth, swerving, and we like, well, who is this? And they hop off the bike and let the bike fall, and it slides, and they jump and grab my shoulder, and he's like, Trey, cuz, and it's the homie Butch. And I'm like, oh snap, and Butch is like grabbing his hip. He got a hole in, he got a basketball jersey. I forget what team and what player it was, but he got a basketball jersey on, and the basketball jersey has a hole about at the hip line, because he shot him in the hip, and you just see blood pouring out. So I'm like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? I don't even remember if we helped him or if he hopped back on the bike or what happened from that, because I know we didn't take him to hospital or call the ambulance or nothing, but I don't remember how we left from that little scene. But I think he hopped back on the bike at a point and kept riding off where he was going, because Butch was street, he had warrants, he never went to the hospital for this until like much later. So I'll continue this segment on the next video.